Have you ever felt like the things you're working so hard for don't really make you happy, or that the rules everyone tells you to follow don't really make your life any better? A lot of the ideas we believe aren't as true as they seem. Some of these ideas are even lies. These lies shape the choices we make, what we think is important, and even how we see ourselves. Let's take a look at some of the biggest lies society tells us and see what philosophy has to say about them. By understanding these lies, we can start to make better choices and find real happiness. Lie number 1, finding a partner will fix the inner void. Many people believe that finding the perfect partner will fix everything that feels empty or broken inside. Society tells us that having someone to love will make us feel complete, and movies and songs often show us that true love is the answer to all of our problems. We grow up thinking that once we find the one, all our worries will disappear, and we will finally be happy. But philosophers like Søren Kierkegaard, an existentialist, remind us that true happiness comes from within, not from someone else. Kierkegaard believed that each person has to confront their own sense of emptiness and find their own meaning in life. He argued that looking for someone else to fill the void can lead to disappointment, because no one else can truly complete us. Real fulfillment comes from understanding who we are and finding purpose in our own actions and beliefs. The idea that a relationship can fix everything ignores the fact that everyone has their own struggles. Even when you find a wonderful partner, the inner emptiness may not go away if you haven't worked on yourself first. Relationships are beautiful, but they are not meant to solve all our problems. They are about sharing our lives with someone else, not using them as a solution to what's missing. Instead of expecting someone else to fix us, we need to focus on growing as individuals and finding peace within ourselves. Once we do that, we can build healthier, happier relationships based on love, not on need or desperation. Lie number 2, we have to be cool. Everywhere we look, we are bombarded by images of seemingly cool people. From influencers to Grammy winners to athletes to Hollywood actors and entrepreneurs. Everyone wants to be cool, but not just people. Music festivals, brands, clothing, tech products, tools, you name it. Coolness is essential. Companies spend huge sums of money just to get cool people to endorse them. The subliminal messages that all this influencer marketing tries to send are: be cool and you'll be admired. Be cool and you'll belong. Be cool and you'll get attention and respect. But here's the thing. In our social media-driven times, a lot of people believe that if they don't fit this cool mold, then they won't get attractive partners, won't be accepted by interesting people, and won't be worthy of respect. Coolness has become a type of social currency with tremendous value, and so everyone tries really hard to be cool. But we don't have to live a fake life just to be cool. Philosophers like Socrates would argue that authenticity is far more valuable than appearing cool. Socrates believed in the importance of knowing yourself and being true to who you are, regardless of what others think. He thought that living a life true to your values was more important than gaining the approval of others. Chasing coolness can lead to superficial relationships and a sense of emptiness, because it often means hiding who you truly are. True respect and belonging come from being genuine, not from trying to fit into someone else's idea of what is cool. Consider people like Keanu Reeves and Steve Jobs. Keanu Reeves is well known for his humility and kindness, often seen taking public transportation or helping strangers without making a big show of it. Steve Jobs, with his turtleneck and straightforward personality, didn't fit the traditional cool mold either, but he inspired millions by being true to his vision and ideas. They didn't chase trends or fake a personality to fit in. They stayed true to themselves, and that made them cooler than most. Instead of trying to be cool, we should focus on being real. True coolness comes from confidence in who we are, not from pretending to be something we're not. Lie number 3. Happiness comes from material success. Most people don't know what they want, so they borrow the definition of success and happiness from other people. From a young age, we are taught that happiness means having more money, more things, more status. We see advertisements that tell us being rich and owning fancy stuff is the key to being happy. People in big houses with expensive cars and designer clothes are presented as role models for success. Social media amplifies this message, making us feel like we need these things to be valuable. We end up believing that our worth depends on how much we own. The problem is that this creates a cycle that never ends. People work long hours, get stressed, and even ignore their friends and family just to have more things. But even when they get what they wanted, they often still feel empty. The truth is, material success is like a mirage, something that looks amazing from far away. But when you get there, it doesn't really satisfy you. Philosophers like Epicurus and Epictetus thought about happiness in a different way. Epicurus believed real happiness comes from simple pleasures like spending time with friends, enjoying little moments in life, and not wanting too much. He said that being happy is about appreciating what we already have, instead of always chasing more. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said that happiness is about having inner peace. He taught that we should focus on what we can control, our thoughts and actions, and not worry so much about things we can't control. When we care too much about getting more things, we end up feeling unhappy. Instead, we should focus on being kind, having good relationships, and staying true to ourselves. No matter how much we have, it often doesn't feel like enough. This is called the hedonic treadmill. We get used to what we have and then want more. True happiness comes from being content with what we have, valuing experiences over things, and enjoying the simple joys of life. It's about needing less and appreciating what's already around us. Lie number 4. You must always be productive. Society tells us that our worth comes from how much we get done. The modern world praises people who are always busy. We hear things like, "I'll sleep when I'm dead," as if being overworked is something to be proud of. We're told that to be successful, we need to always be working, and that taking a break is lazy. This mindset can make us feel tired, stressed, and like we are never good enough if we aren't always accomplishing something. Many of us forget that rest is just as important as work. Life isn't only about finishing tasks, it's also about enjoying the journey. Aristotle, a famous philosopher, believed that a good life is about balance. He talked about something called eudaimonia, which means flourishing or living well. He thought that a good life is one where we grow in different areas, not just work, but also enjoying hobbies, spending time with people we love, and learning new things. Aristotle also said that leisure, taking time to rest and do things we enjoy, is really important. It's not just about doing nothing. It's about doing things that make us happy and help us grow, like exploring nature, reading, or spending time with friends. It's during these relaxed moments that we often learn the most about ourselves and feel the most creative. If we are always trying to be productive, we miss out on truly living. We forget to enjoy the little things like a sunny day or a good laugh with friends. True happiness comes from knowing when to work and when to rest. It's about finding joy in both. Being productive is good when it has a purpose, but working all the time without rest just makes life feel empty. Lie number 5, the majority knows best. A lot of people think that if something is popular, it must be right. But just because everyone is doing something doesn't mean it's a good idea. Throughout history, many popular beliefs have turned out to be wrong, like when people thought the world was flat, or that some groups of people were less important than others. Following the majority without question can sometimes lead to big problems. Plato, a famous philosopher, talked about why we shouldn't always trust the crowd. He said most people don't think deeply enough about what they believe. In his story called The Allegory of the Cave, he described people who are chained in a cave, only seeing shadows on the wall. They think those shadows are real because they've never seen anything else. When one person escapes and sees the real world, he realizes the shadows are just illusions. But when he goes back to tell the others, they don't believe him. This story shows that most people often believe what's easy or familiar instead of seeking the truth. Society often wants us to fit in, to follow the crowd without asking questions. But real wisdom comes from thinking for yourself, even if it means going against what everyone else thinks. It takes courage to stand up for what you believe is right, especially if it makes you different from the group. But only by questioning what's normal can we make real changes and grow. When we think for ourselves, we open up new possibilities. We stop just following along and start leading our own lives. This doesn't mean it's easy. Sometimes it means being criticized or misunderstood, but it's the only way to find what's true for us and live a life that matches our values. Lie number 6. You are in control of everything. We are often told that if we work hard enough, we can control everything in our lives. This idea is appealing because it makes us feel powerful. We like to think that success is entirely up to us, and that if something goes wrong, it's because we didn't try hard enough. But this way of thinking can lead to a lot of disappointment. Life is unpredictable. No matter how much we plan, things can happen that we can't control, like health problems, losing a job, or other unexpected events. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus said that we should focus on what we can control: our actions, our attitudes, and our reactions to what happens. We can't control what other people do, natural events, or many other things that happen in life, but we can control how we respond to these things. Marcus Aurelius taught that we need to accept what happens with grace and keep focusing on what we can do next. By understanding what we can and cannot control, we can let go of unnecessary stress. This doesn't mean we should stop trying to reach our goals. It just means we need to understand that sometimes things don't go the way we want, and that's okay. Our value isn't about always succeeding, it's about doing our best. When we accept uncertainty, we become stronger and more flexible, ready to face whatever life throws our way. Lie number 7. Making money is always hard work. Many of us are taught that making decent money always requires a lot of hard work. Society often tells us that money is super hard to earn, and that only through constant effort and sacrifice can we achieve financial stability. Yet, we see people who seem to have it all with less effort, those who inherit wealth, make money quickly through investments, or use creative means to gain financial success. This can make us wonder if the idea that money must be hard to earn is just another lie. Philosophers like Laozi, the founder of Taoism, suggested that life flows more smoothly when we align ourselves with the natural order. He believed in effortless action. Sometimes working smarter, not harder, and being in the right place at the right time can bring more results than exhausting ourselves through hard labor. The idea that money only comes from hard work can be limiting because it ignores the importance of strategy, creativity, and understanding opportunities when they come. The truth is that making money doesn't always have to mean endless struggle. It often involves thinking outside the box, finding new ways to add value, and knowing how to leverage your strengths. It's not about rejecting hard work completely, but recognizing that there are many paths to financial stability. Instead of just working harder, it's about working in a way that makes the most of your skills and opportunities. Lie number 8. Life has a predefined purpose. Society often tells us that there is a specific path for everyone, and if we just find it, we'll be happy. This idea can be comforting because it makes us feel like there's a perfect plan for us. But have you ever wondered if that's really true? What if life doesn't come with a set purpose? What if instead of finding one perfect path, our purpose is something we create? This can feel a little scary because it means we have to decide what's important to us, but it can also be incredibly freeing. What if true happiness comes not from following some hidden plan, but from choosing what matters to us and pursuing it with passion? Maybe our purpose isn't something we find, but something we build ourselves. It's about making choices that reflect who we are and taking responsibility for our own lives. It means having the courage to follow our own path, even if it's different from what others expect. When we create our own purpose, we feel empowered. We stop waiting for life to tell us what to do and instead start creating our own story. Imagine life as a blank canvas and you are the artist, and you get to decide what picture you want to paint. You can explore, change direction, and follow your instincts. True fulfillment comes from knowing that we have the power to make our lives meaningful, not by waiting for a perfect plan to show up, but by creating one that makes us come alive. Lie number 9. Everyone has it all figured out. Society often makes it seem like everyone knows exactly what they are doing. We see people who look confident, successful, and as if they have everything figured out. But is that really true? The reality is that many people are just hoping they are doing the right thing. Most of us are making it up as we go along, trying to make the best decisions we can with what we know. Society makes it seem like everyone else is so sure about their actions and decisions, but deep down, most people are just as uncertain as we are. People like to put up a front, acting like they know exactly where they are going, but they are often as lost as the rest of us. Philosophers have often encouraged us to question appearances and look deeper. What if, instead of pretending that we have it all figured out, we admit that life is messy? Maybe being honest about our uncertainties would lead to a more genuine way of living. When we realize that nobody really has all the answers, it can be freeing. We stop comparing ourselves to others and start understanding that everyone is trying their best in a complicated world. Instead of worrying about looking like we have it all together, we could focus on being real, learning from our mistakes, and supporting each other. The truth is, none of us have all the answers, and that's okay. Life is about figuring things out as we go, not about pretending we're perfect. Conclusion. These lies show us how what society tells us doesn't always match up with true happiness. By questioning these beliefs, we can start to see what really matters and live a meaningful life. Philosophy encourages us to think deeply, question what we are told, and find out for ourselves what makes a good life. This journey isn't always easy, but it leads to real freedom and happiness. By facing the truth, even when it goes against popular ideas, we can live a more authentic life. We each have the power to create a life that is meaningful, one that isn't based on what society says, but on what we truly value. Life isn't about following someone else's plan, it's about writing our own story. It's about finding what brings us joy, balance, and connection, and having the courage to follow that path, no matter what others think. Our worth isn't about how much we do or how much we have. It's about living true to ourselves and making a positive impact on the world around us.